Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of the Manusmriti series in Ramaging with Devi. The book starts with a number of sages asking Manu, who's defined as measureless power, um, and they ask him to recite the laws of the earth. And he concedes and he starts reciting the laws. The first thing he talks about is the creation of the universe and a few other things like the creation of abstract concepts. So, first, starting with the universe, he says the universe was in deep sleep and it was dark. And then Swayambhu appeared with limitless power and dispelled the darkness. Once Swayambhu came into existence, he also wanted to create other beings from his own self. So, for that purpose, he created waters and then he planted a seed. The seed then grew into an egg, and the egg was very bright and shone like the sun. And from within the egg came Swayambhu from his own will. So the egg broke into two, and one was heaven and one was earth, and everything in the middle sphere was created, like waters, ocean, and things like that. After the creation of the middle sphere, a bunch of abstract things were created, like self-consciousness, ego, and the mind. This is the set of three. And then the set of five sensations was created. And then the book talks about the creation of six minute particles, which I really don't understand what they are. So after all these was created, then the seven Purushas were created, and each of the quality of the Purushas who came after, like succession, had the qualities of the previous Purushas as well. Some of the abstract things that were created were from the fire, wind, and sun, three Vedas, then time, emotions such as speech, desire, ambition, pleasure, anger, and then actions like merit, demerit, and pairs of actions like pain and pleasure, and some of the non-abstract things like creation of class of gods, and every created being were assigned actions and conditions when they were created. The actions assigned during the creation and the subsequent beings created had the actions and characteristics that they were assigned for the previous creations also, like they can be noxious, harmless, gentle, ferocity, virtue or sin, truth or falsehood. And then Manusmriti states that the seasons created have their own characteristics. Like that, every created being have their own characteristics at birth. So, what did I find interesting reading the first few verses? The creation story in itself was interesting. I did not know about the creation story before I read Manusmriti. Um, and I did a bit of research if there are other creation stories in Hinduism. And of course, there exist other creation stories, some in Veda and some in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, this creation story in Manusmriti is not the only one, it's one of many. And one of the tidbits also I learned was the name Narayana. So the water that Swayambhu created, that is Nara, and Ayana is the first residence. So Narayana is the term from there. And what I also found interesting was the Purusha that came out of the egg was called Brahman, which is Brahma, which I assume to be Brahma, but the name Narayana was used. So we, at least I know, like God Brahma and God Narayana, are two different gods. So I was confused. But I think it'll explain, Manusmriti will explain in future chapters and give more clarifications about it, I think. And the concepts, the abstract and the non-abstract concepts, is also quite interesting, and the way it's fused, different kinds of elements fused into one. And yeah, I am looking forward to reading the rest of the Manusmriti as well. And if you like what you're watching and like what you're hearing, please follow me on any podcast platform of your preference and support the podcast by liking and sharing with your friends. Thank you.